do one last one, being I'm doing these rollouts today. Before I forget, let me cover you have all this going on with the Harvey Weinstein and now Roy Moore, very conservative, Ten Commandments, former top judge of Alabama, those that follow politics, and now it looks like Roy Moore I didn't read everything on it, but for the politics, it looks like he's embroiled in, going out with younger girls when he was in his 30s and so forth and all these types of things. And so what's coming out, the Kevin Spacey thing, it sure seems as if Kevin Spacey, an actor who I actually liked, Kevin Spacey, but it does seem like he had a history of sexual assault on younger male actors when they were minors. Oh, I see a praying mantis right here. How beautiful. I'm at my other daughter's house, the one that lives off of the Oso Bay in town. So it was nice. You get to see the ranch of my daughter Rebecca out in Sandia. And this is where Bethany and Anthony live. I make the Sunday videos. And so it's nice. It's like today I went back into the bluff. But I read a whole article checking the news. It seems like George Bush Sr., President 41, it seems like he sexually assaulted a 16-year-old girl. And every statement I read and everything, all the evidence, he grabbed her buttocks. And then as I'm reading it, there's enough evidence for him to be arrested. Plain and simple. George Bush Sr., I saw a couple of things, but this was on CNN. A lot of women said, and they admit this, Bush's people are admitting this basically, that like the Bill Cosby thing, some of the older generation thought certain things were acceptable. And what George Bush Sr. did was when they would go for photo shoots and he would take pictures, and this young girl was 16, and Bush openly grabbed her backside, squeezed it, and then he would make a joke. They're admitting this. One of his lawyers is admitting this. He would make these jokes when women, even with their younger children, would take pictures with George Bush Sr. He would make a joke and say, "Do you know who my favorite magician is?" And he would say, "David Copperfield." Not David Copperfield, but he would say David Copperfield. And then he would grab them from behind. Now, I read all of the other, CNN did a whole thing I just read online. That man broke the law. He lived in a time, I guess, from a generation, he thought all that was acceptable. But it shows you the standard. He has FBI, Secret Service, all backing him up. I'll mention this too. The whole absolute hypocrisy of the media. Two people that are liberals, Chris Hayes from MSNBC News, and one other media figure, said it's time for us also to admit that we kind of the media empowered the women that Bill Clinton assaulted. And Bill Clinton had a history. He settled with Paula Jones, Kathleen Willey, Juanita Broaddrick, the Monica Lewinsky thing. Clinton also had a history of this. Bill Clinton did. I always liked Bill Clinton. I never disliked Bill Clinton. But he had a history of this. And the difference now was whenever the women came forward, one was a fairly reliable, long-term accusation of rape. I believe it was Juanita Broaddrick, who gave multiple stories. You went back and checked her story. Did she tell other people at the time she was raped? Yes, yes, yes. And how did Bill Clinton, this went all the way back to when he was governor of Arkansas. And how did the media treat those women? The ones I just mentioned off the top of my head. They empowered Hillary Clinton to demean those women. And there was a Democratic machine, including James Carville and people like Terry McAuliffe, top Democrats, They went after those women immediately in the media and made them look like trailer trash. And the media empowered that. And why did the media do that, John? Because they were really not concerned with the so-called every woman has to have a voice. Many of the allegations that are bringing down Roy Moore, I believe, should step aside because just the stuff I've seen on it. But they empowered the Bill Clintons to do what they did because the media not only did not allow those women's voices to be heard, the media backed up the degrading of those women by the Hillary Clinton people and just the one that we know. The Monica Lewinsky thing where the girl that was an intern by the name of Monica Lewinsky got the job, worked at the White House as an intern, a staffer, and she didn't report it herself, but it came out during the Ken Starr investigation that Bill Clinton received oral sex from Monica Lewinsky in the Oval Office. Now, supposedly it was all consensual and all. But immediately when that broke, the famous Monica Lewinsky thing, immediately you saw the Hillary Clinton people, the Bill Clinton people, and all of the Democrats, primarily all the media Democrats and all, beginning to say, the famous statement of Bill Clinton was, that woman, Monica Lewinsky, I did not have sexual relations with her. And as they began speaking about her, immediately there was a media attack machine, media, and Democrats saying, how dare you, to these women, multiple of them. Finally, for those that are not familiar with it, there was information, the special prosecutor, independent counsel, Ken Starr, that Monica Lewinsky saved a blue dress that President Bill Clinton had, his semen was on that dress. Sure enough, they got the dress. Yeah, the woman that the media mocked, enabled the people to attack these women. Then it was proven, it was consensual oral sex and other things that Bill Clinton did in the Oval Office. And not only did the media, the liberal media, not only did they allow those women to all be mocked for all of those years, but they purposefully empowered Bill Clinton or others that knew, man, look at the cover we have, because the media is right on our side. So when I see the media, whether it's Roy Moore, now look, Bush 41, CNN did they tried to do it nicely about Bush 41, meaning, well, this is Parkinson's disease and he's older, but they've all of Bush's people seem to admit, yes, he's done these things, he's sorry that he grabbed, that's a minor, that's a 16-year-old girl, and he did it. Look, you're going to let some in society. When I was coming back, when I went out to Sandia earlier today, coming back, there was a U.S. government vehicle truck behind me. I'm not sure if those are federal marshals, but the guys on the street say that's a Fed vehicle. It says U.S. government. Okay, it was behind me for a little while. And then he passed me up, and we were coming into SPID where it's a lot of traffic. And then he was trying to get off, no blinkers, a lot of traffic, left to right, going different lanes. I felt like videotaping and saying, it might have been a minor thing, just swerving in and out like that. But I think, why don't you obey the law? A minor thing like not having this guy's blinker on today, running around. There was another on the way out of town. There was a police officer in the left lane. There was a lot of traffic backed up, sort of when I was heading out, going slow, people not wanting to pass it. These things are not really minor, because sometimes these things result in wrecks and all, and I just see sort of the arrogance. That's what I see, is the arrogance, whether it's a top political person. So I'll just mention that because as the last one, it seems like it's interesting. The Kevin Spacey series that I don't watch, but it was called House of Cards. And I'm assuming it maybe had to do with sort of like a political thing, but I'm not sure. And of course, they pulled the series. They replaced Kevin Spacey with the actor from Sound of Music, Christopher Plummer. They're reshooting all the scenes. But it's a sign because you have the comedian C.K. Lewis is his name, and many in the entertainment industry. The entertainment industry, if some of my friends write, are fine authors and they write fiction. I don't read fiction, and I don't watch a lot of fiction. I might watch a movie every now and then. And the reason, to me, because I'm thinking in my case, it's entertaining oneself with, just stories that others came up with. But the entertainment industry in Hollywood and all, many of the movies, and I'm not super conservative, I'll watch a movie that, I avoid R-rated movies, but I mean, I'm not like forbidden all types of things. But the industry, a big part of it, even when I get online, CNN or Fox, you could hardly go on the top page of the Fox. You could hardly, regardless of what online news outlet it is, top story, some teacher had sex with a kid, like top right in the beginning. Some teacher somewhere, a lady, wherever it is, in whatever state it is, she had sex with a 16-year-old, there's a video of it. And I'm thinking, what a disgrace. Having, sadly, whatever cases these are, but those are like the top things. Some almost even show like a porn ad right on their front news thing. And so the media, basically, Hollywood and all, spent many, many, many years, Harvey Weinstein type things, basically showing scenarios, TV shows, full frontal nudity on various movies that you might watch, or somewhat almost that way in a rated R. And so all these years, the entertainment is centered a lot of times around sexual innuendo or out-and-out sex. And all that entertainment, and all of a sudden, many that are in that entire industry, it's like a shock that because all their time was spent making scripts and things of all this types of stuff, and oh, what a shock that it might have affected them and the way they acted and the way of course it did. Of course it did. And now you're seeing all these apologies or denials and stuff. And the last few months, really, it's rocked the entertainment industry and now, like I'm saying, former political figures. There's a congresswoman, I think she's a congresswoman, Jackie Spear, and she just gave testimony that there are two sexual predators right now in Congress, on the floors of Congress. She said one is a Republican and one is a Democrat serving that's also committed sexual acts in Congress, on the floor, like when there's no cameras or whatever. So now you're saying, wait a minute, these people are getting away with all these types of things. And when you see me, when I speak on like the issues why I'm upset, I'm upset that the evening news in our community tonight again, they'll go back to that 40-year-old cold case of a murder. And I'm telling you, just the other day, and I'm good that we're going to get that man that was involved in the murder of that officer in Alice many, many years ago. Good. But if you have deaths that took place in the last few months, one of the street friends, I won't give this name, but it would be okay to give it, but he's made the statement, Roger, one of my friends who died, supposedly some of these friends of mine that have died, there were witnesses that said, no, so-and-so beat this one, and I never know for sure, but I've had a few people on the street just ask me, John, like worried. Frankie asked me. I tried to help Frankie. I ran into Frankie again. He's a friend of mine. He said, John, is it true that they kill Roger. I said, well, Frankie, I hear a lot of rumors. I said, as far as I know, I don't listen to all the rumors. But then another friend mentioned something the other day and said they know that a certain homeless guy was killed. And this other person said, but the cops, because he's homeless, they were going to let those things just happen. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know. But it concerns me that there are multiple murders that took place within the last year, even in our area, that should get top priority. Top priority if you have witnesses being killed in a criminal case, which took place here, one after the other, and then the case finally was dropped. That's top priority. And when our local media does a big thing on, look how tough we're going to solve a 40-year-old case that supposedly the man's already in prison for life, solve it, fine. But that doesn't deal with the clear and present danger, meaning witnesses have been killed, out and out killed. You had a transgender girl, transgender person. I remember the name, Stephanie Monteith. Now, they just arrested 3 people. She was shot. She was shot a few weeks ago right in that area. I saw it in the media. They made the arrest, and there's 3 people that were arrested, but those are the things, the immediate homicides should take priority over all these other things. So I'll do this last one because I just wanted to comment. I just read enough just now, just reading the news, that yes, sadly, Bush Sr., just like Bill Cosby, whether he's old, whether he's there's enough, he basically admitted, yes, I grabbed the 16-year-old girl and maybe more, but there was enough cases, and he said that's kind of how he did it. He apologizes. He didn't mean to make anyone feel bad. That's a crime that he admitted to right now. And if you're in a society where you have a standard where, regardless of who you were, that it's open, it's out there, and it's sort of like dealt with as well, that's different. No, it shouldn't be different. I think the deaths of some of my friends these last few years, I think they should be looked at as seriously. And I don't intend to get any of my other friends in trouble. And it is possible that if some of these guys were beat, that it could be other friends I knew that done it. I don't know. And I'm not wanting the other friends that might have, or people that I've seen on the street. But I want to know that these cases are getting the same priority as any of the other cases. I don't like hearing people on the street say, yeah, they know that they murdered somebody. Another person said the cops know that they murdered somebody, but they're just going to let that slide because it was a homeless person. I hope that's not true. And then I see the 40-something-year-old case of, no. Okay? So this will just be, being I'm out here at a pretty spot where I do the videos on Sunday. During the whole scandals of these harassment claims and all these things that are going on right now in the country. And remember that thing. Look, I wanted you to see on the Bill Clinton thing, it wasn't just a matter of the women, many accusations against Bill Clinton, including rape. And some of these were not. And the media purposefully empowered the Clinton machine to denigrate those women. And that's how you knew it was, because that's how you know they did that, because they were doing the same thing with Monica. Like, this woman is unstable, she's nuts, she's crazy, who would ever believe, until they had the dress. And then when the dress came out, it was, well, this is, adults, but it showed you that the media is a joke. The media today, the only one, Chris Hayes, rightfully, and Jake Tapper from CNN, who I don't like, he too, the first two that I heard from the liberal media, CNN and MSNBC, said we also have to deal with what we did with the Bill Clinton accusers. Because these women that are accusing Roy Moore right now and others, that's fine. You can put their accusations up. if it seems like they're credible, and it does seem like they're credible. But when you had multiple credible witnesses over a period of many, many years, you mocked those women. And Hillary Clinton, I heard a clip from Hillary on the radio maybe 2 months ago. And it was such a disgrace because she said, we want all women to know, if you've been sexually harassed in any way, we want you all to know that you have a voice and speak out. And there was probably no other woman in the country, because she had the power, for the wife of a governor and then later the wife of a president. There's no other woman in the country that brought kind of more public retaliation towards people that accused her husband. She did that. She did that. They were empowered with the political things that they did. And then to hear Hillary say, you know, we want you to know you all have a voice. Do you know Kathleen Willey, one of the accusers of the many? There were many. You had Jennifer Flowers, she went out with her for years. But Kathleen Willey, I think it was her, she testified that one day Hillary Clinton came up to her knowing that Bill Clinton did something with Kathleen Willey. It was like a whole history. And she told, I think Kathleen Willey, Hillary Clinton said, I want you to know I thank you for your silence. I thank you for all that you do. Meaning that she knew that that was another woman that could have brought down the political career of her husband, which he did not want. And she kind of thanked her for her silence and all. All right. The Wonderfull Media.